Share. Highlights. All right. You're the best. You're the best. Two of you are the best. There we go. All right. Can see myself. Hello, Lily. Bonjour. Hello, Enora and Shayna. I think you're here as well. Oui, oui, sunflower seeds. And I love that. Oh, you made me hungry now. Every time that I think of countries like France or Italy, I get hungry. Because some countries are known for good food. You know, Germany, they have good food, but they're not known. It's not like everybody wakes up in the morning and says, I really want a schnitzel, you know? Shalom, Titan. Can you guys tell me, can you hear my voice well? And is the audio, the video image, is it good? Is it, do I need to change something about the internet? Let's see, this is a new link, yes. For some reason, my old links never work. It's like it tells me you can go live, and then when I start, it just doesn't give me the option. Voice and picture are fine. Thank you so much. Let me just find something to put the camera. I think the camera is higher. It's better. Welcome to my studio, guys. It's the first live stream that I'm doing from the studio. Put it on this. There we go. That's better. All right. Let's see, what time is it now? Audio visual quality, excellent. Time it. Oh, you think so? You think that it doesn't allow me to start ahead of time? That's the reason? Because last time I started in time, but I still couldn't have the option, so I didn't want to take the risk of doing that. So, well, I'm glad. I'll try that next time. I'll try to wait till the last second. All right, we have 9 viewers. That's great. Connected viewers 9. Excellent. Let's see who's on. We have Lily. We said hello to that legend. We have Titan. Hello, Titan. Nora, anyone who's on right now, feel free to say something, say hi. Maybe leave a flag of your country so we can know where you're from. That's always a nice thing to know about this new community that we're starting here. And that I'm very honored to have every single one here that comes and join. And I'm gonna be wise this time, and you're gonna forgive me. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna bring myself a glass of water. So, Ahlan, Tiger Pin. Hey man, from Israel. Shalom, shalom. I'm gonna run and bring myself a glass of water, and I'll be right back. How do you guys like my studio? I have this, that's how I steam out. take my frustration whenever some idiots around the world do something stupid, or in between my videos. Let's see. Thank you, excellent. Guido, ahlan, ahlan. Welcome from Germany. Well, I live in Germany too. Guido from Germany. Well, unfortunately, my German is still in the level of 2 years old. I was giving my kid a fight for learning German when he was 1. I was kind of leading. And then when he became 2 years old, he was starting to get a little bit better of me. And then he just went rocketing. And I'm still stuck at like 2.5, maybe 3 years old level of German. That's a large studio. What do I use it for? I need space to hide my enemies. That's what I use it for. Shayna, I didn't know that you are from the US. That is cool. Actually, a little bit. Shalom from Covington, Georgia. Welcome, welcome. Kathy Kirk. That is a cool community here. I'm wondering, I want to see how many nationalities. In my last job, one of the coolest things that was about it, and I was the head of security for a big company, and the cool thing that one time I counted, there were 65 different nationalities, all in one place. 65 people from, more than 65, thousands, but from 65 different countries, and they were all working together, and it was beautiful because no one really cared about politics. Everybody left that back home, and there were some enemy countries there. There were people from, mostly from Muslim countries, but there were like enemy countries, but while they were there at work, nobody cared. They put all the differences aside, and it was a beautiful thing to see how people can actually come together. And it even made me think. You know, I used to do trainings for them, and I used to remind a lot of these employees, because I have to train them sometimes about all kind of security regulations and etc. And zero tolerance training. These were my corporate days. So, from Finland, ahlan, ahlan. Garg Defense System, welcome and thank you for joining. Finland is a great friend and ally. We love you guys. So I used to tell my colleagues that were working that if we were born, let's say 200, 300, 400 years ago, there was not too much tourism happening. So if you were, let's say, someone in Finland, and you see an Asian person suddenly, then run for your life. This is an invasion. That's mean that the Mongols have came right now and they're gonna come and kill and butcher and burn everyone alive. And now we're living in a world that is so common to see people from so many different cultures. And I think that diversity is just beautiful. I remember seeing that diversity on steroids, actually, when I went to the UK. When I went to the UK to do a mini documentary for Rova Media about the rise of anti-Semitism. And don't get me wrong, the situation in UK when it comes to Hey, hello, Gil from London. So I was in London, and don't get me wrong, the situation there with anti-Semitism is insane, literally insane, and if they don't wake up, it's gonna get out of the window. But one of the beautiful things I remember when I was driving in the metro there, and I had only 2.5 days to film everything, and I was a one-man army. I was running with the cameras, with the chargers, with the equipment, chatting on WhatsApp and Instagram with different people from social media, hooking me up. And I met really interesting people in that time. It was a great achievement. But in the metro, I would never forget, as I was going, there were 3 Hare Krishna extra vegan white people, I guess, but they were dressed with a Hare Krishna outfit, sitting next to an Afghani Muslim woman that is fully covered, sitting next to an African Muslim woman, sitting next to a rabbi, sitting next to some kind of a street bum, a hip-hop guy, and it was just diversity on steroids. There were so many people there from all over the world, all together, sitting in the same metro, just kind of trying to drive to work, and no one seemed to care about the other. And I remember looking at that and I said like, wow, that is a beautiful picture of diversity. When people are just coming and not minding the other, respecting the other, and just going on, minding their own, enjoying their life, looking for work and etc., but not trying to force any ideology or any religion down each other's throat. That was a beautiful thing. New Jersey. That's Shayna. I love New Jersey. I actually used to be there a lot because I used to work for a cruise line company, and the Royal Caribbean ships, they were in New Jersey sometimes. Let's see, who else is from any countries here that I haven't welcomed? So yeah, I haven't answered the question about the Studio Titan. I will ask it again in a second, answer it. Yeah, New York have kind of similarity. I feel like not a lot of countries can give a fight to London. Not a lot of cities when it comes to diversity. I felt maybe Canada can have it, New York maybe, Berlin. Even Berlin was not as intense in the level of diversity that I saw in London. Just going in that metro. Aiza, Habibi. By the way, I want to give a shout out for Aiza. Whoever sees this guy here, he is one of the reasons also that I'm in YouTube. Aiza is one of the best photographers that I've known. And he came with me, a short story, a quick story about him. I was once traveling and I got lost in Africa, in the jungle. I don't think I got lost, but the tribe there that found me kind of felt that I got lost. And they ended up fixing my clothes. I had jeans with holes in them. It was a fashion statement. They thought that I was just extremely poor, and they took my clothes for laundry and fixed it. And Ahlan from Rishon, from It's Not Kayanid. So, long story short, I've met a school teacher in a tribe in Africa, in the jungles, and that guy named Alfred came and told me, together we came with the idea to build a school for orphans in that tribe, where I got lost and found. So I went back to Israel, and that was just after my kid was born. My father passed away, my kid was born. It was a busy time in my life because it happened the same time almost. And I got a message from this guy that he started building school brick by brick. So I came and I told him, listen, Alfred, I'm coming to help you. And I made a post. Who is crazy enough in a short, spontaneous time to come with me, and if he can bring a camera? And Aiza just volunteered. He was, I think, Aiza, were you 17? How old were you then? Aiza was not, he was before his military service even. And he just volunteered, and we went together deep in the jungles of Africa and started working on building a school and filming. And the guy is an amazing photographer, an amazing editor. He taught me actually how to edit. You're 18 to 19, yeah. He literally, actually, he taught me how to edit. I didn't know how to edit, and he gave me a program and showed me how to do it. And since then, I've been editing videos. So a big shout out to Aiza. You have a great Instagram account. If you want, you can share it here with us, Aiza. One for art and all kind of extreme sports, and one is private, I think. Who is that? Gaharad Defense System. You said you're from Finland, right? Which other countries? Anyone who haven't said where he is from, we have... How many people are on right now? We have 28... concurrent viewers. I think so. We have 28 viewers, yeah? 26. So if anyone can just leave a flag and show us where he's from, it's always a nice thing. Some of you already done, but the others who didn't, and you can always do it again. In today's video, guys, I'm gonna be talking about a few topics. Canada, Swish from Canada. Magumi Shinitsugi. I really sorry if I butchered your name, and forgive my ignorance. Is that Chile? That flag. Oh, 4th of July with the eagle. Happy 4th of July to all the Americans here that are with us. One of our greatest allies is America. Always was, and I hope always will be. Even though the governments sometimes have hiccups here and there, we have some governments that are more and some that are less. But in the long run, and especially knowing my American friends, I've seen so much love and so much care and support, and we are allies. At the end of the day, the whole Western world are actually allies. It's just that there's parts in the West that forgot that there's an enemy, and they kind of started becoming almost, you would say, an enemy of themselves. But in general, since World War II, there was never a war between two democratical countries fighting each other. And when you say democratical countries, you're looking at the West, so there was never really two Western countries that decided to attack each other, because somehow that whole concept of Western society, of democracy, of freedom, of humanitarian, level, makes people think that they want to take care of themselves. Hey, I want to work hard so I can build my own house, so I can buy my own car, so I can secure my own future. And people start being less easily brainwashed to come and just follow some kind of dictatorship, communist regime that tells them, for the country, we're gonna go and enforce our way of life. Even look at it. Most countries in the West don't really want to enforce their way of life. I mean, in some financial ways you can say yes, but Germany is not looking to conquer any country in the world and enforce its way of life. Most Germans wouldn't even, think of joining some kind of a silly idea like that today. They're very liberal, very, they got hurt from World War II and they moved the other way. America as well, Israel as well, they're not trying to enforce, they're not trying to conquer and enslave and make another country or culture submit to them. Like I said, financially, you do have these financial tensions where you want to become the strongest economy, but I'm talking culture-wise. The only ones in the world right now that are pushing to some kind of world dominance, I would say, to conquer the world and completely submit it to their own system of beliefs, are the Muslims, Chinese maybe, and perhaps the Russians. Help me if I forgot anyone. But that's interesting. These are the only three countries. Yes, China, Russia, and Muslim countries. And here is a thing, I think, from Muslim countries, even moderate ones. And I know some people might not like to hear that, but you know what? Sometimes people don't like to hear the truth. And many of the Muslim countries are not physically or actively trying to enforce their beliefs and their values on other countries, not because they don't want, just because they can't. And there's a big difference. When your neighbor is not trying to attack you and conquer you and convert you just because he can't, it's not the same thing of he doesn't want to. So let's say you're sitting right now and you're Switzerland and you're Denmark, or you're Germany and you're Holland. There's very unlikely that one of the countries is going to attack the other and try to enforce their values. But being neighboring with some countries, even with Turkey, for example, if they were able, they would do it. The fact that they can't do it doesn't make them your ally. And I took like a moderate kind of example there. I'm not talking about Iran right now and Syria and other places. So that's something about that. I do not love our present administration. Which administration are you talking about? Is that the American administration, Keithy? Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'll say it that way, and I'm going to probably end up pissing off a lot of liberals in America. I'm not an American. I'm an Israeli, and now I'm a German, or, becoming a German. So someone can come and tell me, yeah, Mr. Biden, someone come and tell me, hey, what do you care, Mansour? You're not an American. I'll tell you what, I do care, because America is the leader of the free world. And whenever America is strong, the bad guys in the world get in line and they start behaving, okay. And whenever America is perceived as weak, all hell goes loose. And why am I saying some of the Democrats' friends will probably not like what I'm about to say? And I'm not getting into politics right now or in the things that Americans care inside of America. I'm talking from an outside observer. When Obama became the president of the United States, I believe that was the beginning of the whole thing of the perception of America as extremely weak. Because before Obama, right and left wings in America were perceived pretty strong by the enemies. We're not talking about the allies. The allies are the allies. But we're perceived pretty strong by the enemies of the United States and the West. They didn't really dare to deal with them. Even with the Clintons and etc., they knew that these guys, okay, we don't want to mess with them. When Obama came, look what happened. Arab Spring, ISIS went exploding. The whole Arab Muslim world almost collapsed into radicalization, like in Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan. Egypt almost collapsed. They had to literally send the army to take the government. Syria, Lebanon, ISIS went raiding all over. Iran started plotting and pushing terrorism all around the world, pushing radicals into Europe, which is an invasion. Europe doesn't want to admit it, but it was an invasion. Many very dark-minded people came into Europe in disguise of being refugees seeking asylum. Russia went and basically attacked Crimea. The whole world's stability was starting to shake. All hell goes loose. Trump goes, silent. The world's saying, okay, guys, America is strong again. They are actually capable of identifying who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. They call them by names. So keep low, keep low. China started behaving. Russia started behaving. North Korea ended up agreeing to a peace agreement. You know, that's insane. All kind of stuff. Saudi Arabia with the Abraham Accords and etc. The world started to become more calm. Biden goes in, again. Hamas invades Israel. The Muslim world is going radical. Russia starts a war with Ukraine. So look at the pattern. They keep blaming Trump that he is going to lead the world to an apocalypse. Now, I'm looking at it from the side, and the only one that seems to be leading the world towards an apocalypse are the Democrats. Are their nominees for the last two, groups, Obama time and Biden time. So it's as if you're looking at a board game, and you're playing a board game, and there's the apocalypse is right there, and you need to try not to reach the apocalypse, but every turn you either move a step forward or a step back. Every time America goes Democrat, we move 2 steps towards an apocalypse, a world war apocalypse. They go Republican, we move 1 step back, and then again 2 steps. So we are going closer and closer, and everybody's feeling it. You look around the world, and you're seeing that the world is becoming less and less safe, more and more crazy, violent, and hostile by the year. And if you look at it in terms of American political candidates, kind of regimes, rules, every time it was Democrats, 2 steps towards an apocalypse. Everyone was Republicans, we went 1 step back. So we're still moving forward. And I think people should start waking up to that. Americans, wake up. I am a citizen of the West. That's why I care. When you guys are weak, the world is perceived as weak, and the world is going closer to a nuclear catastrophe. And that's no joke. It's like people think, no, it's not a joke. It's very serious. Iran is trying to develop a nuclear weapon. Think what happened if they do it. Who's going to stop them if it's not going to be America, Europe, or Israel? Why are they not stopping them? Russia is threatening the world and trying to do all these bulliness that is going around. China. So the world is going to a very dark place, and it kind of scares me. As a father to a son, that is my job as a man to teach him how to walk this earth and to give him this world. Here's your world, my son. Just like anyone else. Respect anyone, live and let live. Walk this earth. That's our job as parents. What kind of a world am I leaving my children? And who can play a crucial role in that? The United States President, the President of the United States of America. 4th of July, guys. Welcome to a podcast about the United States of America leadership. Let's talk about it. We saw that last debate. Again, I'm not entering politics. I'm not trying to advocate for Trump or for Biden. I'm not an American. I don't elect. I don't vote. That's your issues. If you want to put men in females' bathrooms, do that. If you don't want to don't do that. If you want to promote vegan ideology, do that. If you want to promote healthcare, do that. If you want to promote capitalism, that's your thing, guys. You want to promote education, you want to fight racism, all these things I'm all for. But let's look at it right now. Biden is clearly unable, he's barely able to walk. Let's start with that. He's unable to continue a full sentence, which is humiliating. If you ask me, the fact that they even allowed him to go into that debate shows something very disrespectful and very sinister behind the scene in the Democratic Party. His family should have, out of dignity to him, because come on, they didn't wake up in the morning and like Jill woke up, oh wow, let's see, Biden can't even, he just became, he just have a dementia now. That didn't happen an hour ago. No, it's been going on for a while, so they knew it. And they still allowed the man who can barely speak, who can barely have a sentence, who's standing there looking completely lost. You can see in his eyes that He looked sad even, terrified. Because what happened is when you're a baby, when you're lost, you can see in your eyes that that person looks terrified. He looks lost. He's afraid. Where am I? And then you see that in old people's eyes also. People that suffer from dementia, people suffer from, some kind of cognitive decline. When they start feeling lost, you can see in his eyes. And Biden had this look in his eyes. So allowing him to go there and stand in front of one of the world's biggest shark debater, call him, a bully debater, Trump, who is known to crush his enemies. People are afraid of debating Trump because he will crush his way and he smells blood and he attacks. And he's known for that. So you put Biden there. Now, what I think is more concerning than the fact that they allowed to put Biden and how morally wrong that was, is how do American, maybe, Shayna and other Americans can share with us here, aren't you guys worried? Aren't you guys concerned? It used to be days where if someone would come and tell you, yeah, democracy here is not real. It's, all these candidates are puppets. It's not a real democracy. The people don't really have a say. And you would believe that when they were talking about countries like Iran, like Syria, when they were trying to throw a democratic election, even in Egypt, even in Turkey, in some way. You say it's not a real democracy. But that you knew that was right about dictatorship, about very wrong regimes. If someone would tell you that America is not a democracy, and that the president is not the president, he's just a puppet, if someone would have told me that 4 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, I would think, come on, man, take your tinfoil hat, you're just being a conspiracy theorist. Now, it's proven. It's not anymore a conspiracy. The facts are in front of your eyes. There is a president, obviously cannot be a president. He cannot be a leader. He cannot be left alone in a taxi because he's not going to find his way back home. He cannot be left alone to manage an ice cream stall because everybody's going to steal the ice cream. He's going to start giving free ice cream, So he cannot be left alone to run a business. Let's give him the keys to the biggest nuclear power in the world. The gatekeeper of peace and stability that is right now holding, Hodor kind of the door and holding World War III. Don't be wrong. Don't get this wrong. The only one that is holding World War III from happening right now in the world, the only active player that is actually holding that is America. No one else can. Europe is not relevant. They're not strong enough. They kind of forgot that they need to be strong and they forgot to actually know who is the good and who's the bad guys. They're completely confused with all good intentions that they have. They cannot stop Russia right now if Russia want to come and crush them. They cannot stop China, nothing. So Europe out of the equation. Israel, too small. We have enough enemies of our own, too small to be like a very relevant factor. They cannot wage a world war. America, and this is based on military studies. Someone who came from the military, and I have a lot of colleagues in other militaries and in the American military. America's military is capable of waging a war against the entire planet Earth simultaneously and still winning. We're not talking about a nuclear war now because you end up killing entire, everybody's dead. But we're talking right now the capabilities of its Air Force, of the Navy, who control the ocean. So America is capable of waging a war against planet Earth and winning. Yes, Europe is so lost. Big time. Big time, Inora. So the only one holding that gate is America. So if you know that, with great power comes great responsibility, and you are right now Spider-Man, and you are the United States of America, and you have great responsibility. And who's going to put as a leader? This guy, then obviously he's not the leader, which means that there is people controlling behind him, which means that America is not a democracy anymore. Call me crazy, but what does that mean? Your leader that you elected is not the one calling the shots. Are you aware of that? Are you okay with that? And that's what is surprising me, that it seems to me that Americans are quite okay with that. It's not anymore a conspiracy theory, it's a reality. Insane. I really think that in America, we have no choice to vote in the next elections. Interesting, interesting. Again, I don't know, I'm not there. I know there's a lot of rumors coming here and there. One thing I kind of wondering, what's gonna happen now? Oh yeah, in the UK, we'll talk about that in a second, YB. One thing that I'm kind of concerned now is, what's gonna happen with Biden, with Uncle Joe? I find it hard to believe that he will stay in power because if you keep him, you're gonna lose. Many people just saw publicly in front of their eyes the situation of his mental capabilities, physical capabilities, and it's not gonna get any better. And if you are the president of the United States, and even America, the greatest country on earth, doesn't have the right doctors and technology to help you recover, then who else, who can save you? So the guy is gonna get probably worse. So if the Republicans, if the Democrats come and say, yeah, we're gonna keep running with Joe, then they said, okay, we're admitting we're gonna lose. We're gonna give the presidency to Trump, which I doubt that they will do that. They will never do that. They will probably go to any extent possible, just like they went to the extent of having Biden elected, knowing his condition, because he was the only one they thought can take Trump down. Now, who's going to be the next one that they think he's the only one that can win against Trump? That's a good question. I don't know. Who do you think, guys? Anyone American here, who do you think is going to be the next one that they're going to try to replace Biden with? Michelle, maybe? Do you think that's real, that Michelle Obama is going to run? I don't know. You know, feel free to leave that in a comment. We can talk. Yeah, maybe they'll go for her. But the question is, what if Biden says no? What if Biden comes and says, no, I'm not leaving? What's going to happen to him? How are they going to find a creative way to convince him to leave? You know, I don't want to go into theories here, but just leaving it there. No more Hussein Barack Obama, yeah. So someone here mentioned, I think it was YB, going to be very scary post-UK election results. I need to study more into that. I was not really going too deep into the UK, but I heard now that the left party have won there. But I also heard that the wife of that prime minister is Jewish. So I don't know where they're standing in regards to Israel, to the West, in regards to immigration. I do know that the UK is suffering from a serious radical Muslim invasion. Don't fool yourself. There is a lot of people in the UK that came from Muslim countries that want to take that country down and change it into Sharia law. And they're clearly saying that in the street, you know. So it's not a theory that is just another Arab is coming and telling you guys, wake up. I hear the Arabic, I can smell the hummus, I know what's going on. They're saying it clearly in broad daylight. So I don't know. Let's see how that goes. Another curveball I wanted to throw in the air here, and after that I actually have an interesting personal story that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm making a video about it also, so anyone who's here is gonna get a quick, they're buying all the churches. It's gonna get a quick glimpse into that story, but before, what's going on with Hezbollah? What's going on with Israel, with Hezbollah, with the north of Israel? Something is cooking there. Something is cooking. And hey, Larry boy, Larry B from Florida. I love Florida, one of the best states. During the pandemic, it was one of the best places to be in, because in Florida, they didn't care about masks. And somehow everything worked. They were not obsessed over it. They were not calling you a baby killer if you didn't wear a medical mask. That obviously was not working. And again, I don't want to go into that whole corona thing, but when a doctor does a surgery, he does an operation, they put these masks tight and they're clean. And even then, it doesn't prevent all. Most of the people in the world are just wearing them like they're kind of putting sunglasses, you know, wearing them for 3-4 days. These things were definitely not working. So it was just, it's crazy that people were obsessed over it so much. That's not what was stopping the pandemic. All right, let me give you guys, I promised a Manso story. When I was in the army, my soldiers used to call me the storyteller, because every time we'll go on a mission, on a long mission, and we have some time either waiting in an ambush or observing something, I will use the comms to tell them a story, and they would all wait for that story time. And I think from a young age I realized that one of my gifts in life was bonfire storytelling. So we're gonna share with you a story here. One time I went hiking in Jordan, and as I was going hiking in Jordan, I'll give you a teaser. We ended up having to run for our life, and I ended up rescuing a Dutch model, a Dutch girl that was lost in the desert there, and she almost died, and we had a whole rescue operation, I call it. So let's get to that story. I went hiking there, and I was expecting it to be a one-day hike because the map and the information that I was given was wrong, and it was a hike that the Jordanians themselves barely do it back then. So as I was going to hike in the desert, I met with this Dutch girl in a hostel that wanted to come for the hike as well. She was actually the one to tell me about the hike and etc. And we decided to go. And soon to find, it was not a one-day hike, it was a 4-day hike. It's in the desert. From the moment that you start, you have no turning back. Now, to spice it even more, on the first day as we were going, we encountered a group of 7 Jordanians that were just hiding there in a bush, and one of them had no arm, and he came out of the bush with like machete in his hand. I was like, what the F? And his friends were all dressed there with like military clothes, and they had shotguns and pistols, and they looked like a bandit raiding party in the desert. That was scary. I was unarmed. I was with a tall, beautiful European girl. And they started asking us a lot of questions about this girl, about where we're from, where we're going. And I knew that I cannot tell them in Israeli, so I had a cover story that I shared with them. And then they were asking us where we're gonna sleep tonight. And I immediately told that girl, don't say anything. Because if they would know where we're sleeping tonight, they're gonna end up maybe, possibly coming and killing me and raping you, and who knows what's gonna happen. And then they asked me if I wanted, they were shooting some cans and some rocks. They asked me if I want to shoot. And I insisted, no, but they insisted, they're kind of pushing the gun into my hands, and I said, okay. So I pretended that I don't know how to shoot, although I served in the special forces. I probably knew how to shoot better than any one of them there. But I didn't want them to see that I'm a good shot because that would raise suspicion. I was trying to play this like innocent student traveling the Middle East kind of card. But I was hearing them speaking in Arabic. And they were speaking about, ask them where they're sleeping, ask them where they're going, and it was clear to me that their intentions were not good. So I told them we're gonna stay just behind this valley here, and we're gonna make a camp there. And when we said goodbye to them, I grabbed that girl and I said, walk now and don't say a word. And we started walking, and we walked the whole night until the morning. So we walked for like maybe 15 kilometers further down that wadi to get away, so wherever they thought is going to be the camp, that was not where the camp is, and we just went and disappeared. During that time, we suddenly realized the hike is more than one day, and now this girl was having an infection. She was getting dehydrated. She was having, we went to some kind of, there was little lakes, natural pools in the desert. We went to swim in one of them to cool down, and she got a bladder infection and I don't know what. And she was vomiting, she was having a dehydration, and it became a life risk. And also, she was so not prepared. She came with like, sandals that were not for hikes, and her feet were bleeding, and I knew that right now we are not in a safe place. These people are looking for us. So I gave her my sandals, and I started walking barefoot, and we started walking, and now we're already running for our life, I would say, for 2.5 days in the desert. We ran out of food. We're drinking water that we find from the wall, from the ground, whatever we can find. I became very good at looking for water in the desert. And I realized that she's in real risk. But in that moment, I saw footprints that seems to be consistent. And I started following these footprints, and in one of the spots where the mud was a little bit more wet and solid, kind of, that footprint that left the symbol of an Israeli sandal. And I don't know if anyone knows, there's an Israeli company called Shoresh. And Shoresh are very known for having very good hiking sandals. They're actually one of the biggest sponsors for the US Marines, I think, for their water bottles that they drink, that they put in their combat vest. But anyway, they make sandals as well. And when I saw this symbol, I knew that there might be Israelis ahead of us here. And the footprints seem to be relatively new. And I've learned already by trackers. I've trained with trackers in the past, and I've learned how to track humans and animals, mostly in the desert. That's mostly my realm of specialty. So I started tracking these footprints, and we started walking faster, and the girl was about to collapse. And I was carrying her, and I was giving her water, and my feet were bleeding from walking barefoot already. Her feet was bleeding, but we had to keep running. And then after a while, I saw she can't go anymore. So I put her by a rock under a shade. I hit her a little bit, told her, listen, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna find these people. I'm gonna see if it's safe and I'm gonna try to reach help. So I started running after these footprints, and after a while of running, of maybe an hour or so, I started smelling fire. So I went down the wind. So, because you don't want them to smell you. So I went down the wind and started observing these people. And hey, Dwayne, I'm glad you found this channel. Welcome aboard, man. You just joined Manso Story Time. When you are sneaking on someone, hunting or, you know, in real military operation, you want to consider the wind direction, because if you're down the wind and the wind goes through your clothes, through your smell, then dogs will start barking, people will smell you. So I went the other way around, and I started coming closer and closer. And I didn't want to reveal myself because there might be, again, a band of Bedouins, you know, who want to do something bad to us. And I heard Hebrew. And when I heard Hebrew, I came closer and closer. And then I was confirmed that it was 3 young Israelis. I think they were just before the army, who went on some kind of a hike in Jordan before they go and join the army. But they were in the age of 17, 18, kind of like Isa's age when he came with me to Africa. So I came to them, and I came out of nowhere, and they just completely shocked and said, hey guys, I spoke, you know, in the beginning English to them, and then we realized I spoke Hebrew, and I told them, I need your help. Do you have a stop it pill? Now, if anyone never heard of stop it pill, in the special forces, whenever they went to a mission behind enemy line, or a long mission, you don't wanna shit behind enemy line, because then you don't want to poop, because then you need to leave your poop there. They can smell, they can find, they can track it, they can know that you've been there, and leave an ambush for the next time you come. And also, you just don't want to be caught with your pants down shitting when someone comes and want to shoot you. So that pill, what it does to you is basically blocks your digestion system, kind of, and you just don't poop. It makes you constipated. And you can take one, it can make you constipated for a day or 2. I asked them if they have that one. They said yes. I asked them to have some water. They said yes. I said, I need that. I need to go and save a girl. One of the guys came with me. We went and I gave her like 4 of these pills. She was already dehydrated and almost delusional in that point. I gave her 4 of them. I think she didn't shit for like a week and a half. Or 2 weeks, she couldn't go to the bathroom. But bottom line, we started giving her water. She was not vomiting anymore. And you know, when you're having diarrhea in the desert, you dehydrate really fast because all your liquids go out. So she was not having, you know, these things now. And sorry for saying that. I'm not going to say her name, and I hope she never watches this channel because she's going to kill me for sharing that story. But long story short is, long story short, we helped carry her. Shabbat Shalom, Alex. We helped carry her. Is it Shabbat? I don't think so. Well, maybe it is. Anyway, we helped carry her out of the desert, and we kept walking. And now I had 2 Israeli guys and 1 girl that were helping me as well. And sometimes he was literally leaning on me. And I said 1-day hike became a 4-day survival hike, running away from a bunch of armed Bedouins who clearly made intentions that they want to come and find us in the middle of the night with weapons. So from a hike, it became a survival trip. And now we came down, and that girl, I said her situation was not doing good. And I met another Bedouin guy on the way, and he told me, another farmer, that there is a hospital down the road here. When you get out of the valley, you turn north and you walk for a few kilometers, and there's a hospital. So I said, okay, we have to go to the hospital. So as we came out of the valley and we started coming to that village, children saw us and started running to us. Little children, and I can see Israel, by the way, because we were right now on the Arava desert. We came from up the north, from the high mountains of Jordan, went down through the valleys, and now we're by the Arava desert, and we can see Israel. But there's a border, obviously, and we cannot cross from there because there's just, you know, mines and... Stop it. Just stop it. Oh my. You mean the story, or did something happen? זה הזמן להגיד שבת שלום. Shabbat shalom, achim ikarim. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Actually, that's a good... Thanks for reminding me, guys. I hope you all are enjoying your time in this Shabbat. Shabbat is a time for family and a time for reflection, I think. So I would always recommend to have 1 day off a week. And if you can make it Shabbat, then do that. Shayna, you said stop it. Did you say stop it because the reception was not going good, or just because of the shock from the story? Okay. Not stopping the story. Okay, so let's go back. So right now, here we are running away from a bunch of raider Bedouins with guns, stuck with this Dutch tall blonde girl who had no idea what she's doing, and she's about to die. And we're in the desert, and we need to get to the hospital. We managed to survive. We get out of the wadi. Ahlan, Natalia. Shabbat shalom. We get out of the wadi, and these children start running to us from the village. And as they're running, they're speaking Arabic and they're shouting, all kind of stuff, cute kids. And they started asking me, where are you from, because that's immediately what they ask you in these places. First moment they see where you're from, who you are, etc. Even the kids start interrogating you. So I told them a cover story that I had. I told them I'm from America, something, etc., etc. And then, out of curiosity, I just asked them, hey, what's that there? And I pointed at Israel. And they started, that's Israel. God cursed the Israelis. And they started just saying God cursed the Jews and start saying all kind of stuff. And I asked them, what, you don't like the Israelis? And the kids started telling me, no, we want them dead. We wish them all killed. I wish I would kill the Jews and all kind of stuff. The kids. And that was a Muslim village in Jordan. Little did I know that I'm right now going with a girl that is about to die to a hospital that's in a Palestinian Arab village in Jordan. I'm entering a Palestinian refugee camp village in Jordan because that's the only hospital they have. And these kids are right now telling me how they want to kill the Jews and kill the Israelis. So I immediately know, okay, there's no way I'm telling them that I'm an Israeli. If I tell them I'm an Israeli, I'm done. And while I was going there, I went to my phone and I deleted all my contacts. And then I said, I got to do more. I actually rebooted my whole phone and had it start in English because I did not want to have any evidence because I knew what's going to happen soon. From the moment you're going to enter that village, every second citizen is going to start interrogating us. And surprise, surprise, that's what happened. We entered the village. We're going to this hospital. One of the kids were walking us. Every second, third person, hey, where are you from? Who you are? And they were just driving us nuts. We got into the hospital, and the doctors, the girl was already fainted at that point, and the doctors came and told me, the stop it pill. Yes! The stop it pill saved her life, by the way, but she still can't poop until today. Rumors say that she haven't went to the bathroom since then until today. But you can Google it, In Israel, it's known. When you tell an Israeli that was in the army, special forces, what's a stop it pill, he would know. It's basically to stop you from pooping. So anyway, she is in the hospital right now. She's about to faint. She's dehydrated. She's completely lost. She's exhausted from the sun, from walking, from running for her life for 4 days, from having this infection. And the doctors come and tell us that they need to do a surgery on her. And she panicked. She said, there's no way. There's no need to be a surgery. It's literally an infection. And as she's talking, I see a police car outside the window. And then I see another police car. And then I see the police start talking to the doctor while he's looking at me. And then I see more and more shababs starting gathering outside the hospital. Remember, that's a Palestinian village in Jordan. They just told me how much they want to kill the Jews and Israelis. I'm an Israeli. I'm rescuing this girl's life. I navigated my way into the hospital, and that's the only place that had to rescue her. It's a Palestinian place. I felt danger close right now. And one of the officers came to me and started asking me again, where are you from? I told him. He says, well, who's your grandmother? Who's your grandfather? Where are they from? Luckily for me, I had a cover story that went through several generations back, and I knew how to answer him. He said, show me your phone. To that level, show me your phone. Looked at my phone, said, go and show me your contact. Where's the number of your mother? I don't know what. And he was really interrogating me. He couldn't find anything. He thought that my accent was of a Syrian or a Lebanese, kind of Arabic. He went back to talk to his colleagues. And then again, another colleague came and started asking me in that moment. And again, I came and I told this girl, we need to get out of here now. If we stay here, something's going to happen to me and you're going to end up, without your kidney, waking up in a bathtub, or I don't know what. Something bad is going to happen. So I came to the doctor and told her, listen, she knows that she has some kind of an allergy from back home. And she has this medication that she have to take. Otherwise, she can die. She doesn't know how to say these medications, other than the language in Dutch. She said something you didn't understand. We made up a word. I said, she knows how to recognize how they look like. Do you have a pharmacy here? So the doctor was kind of busy with something. Yeah, there's a pharmacy right across the street there. Go there. take her with you if you can. She would look at it and identify, said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So I took her out of the hospital from another door while the police guys are outside now and the whole shabab is in the street. We went from another door, we walked to that pharmacy, we went in, I bought a bottle of water, went outside, stopped the first car that came there, told him I pay you right now, I gave him money, take me out of town. It was a taxi or some tender, I don't remember. He took us out of town, we stood out of town. The police is still waiting for us. The people gathered in the hospital looking for us right now, maybe to lynch or I don't know what. Now we're out of town and we start hitchhiking on the main road. A truck driver comes and I had a tall, blonde, beautiful Dutch girl with me, so it was easy to have a truck driver stop. You know, when you're hiking and you look like me, like Jafar, no one stops for you. But when you're a girl, a lot of time people stop. So anyway, truck driver stopped and he said, come in. And he was driving to Aqaba, which is just by Eilat, my hometown. Took us there. As we were driving away from that city, I think they were probably looking for us right now. We were out of that village right now on the highway, on the way to Israel. We wanted to reach the border before it closed so we can go. On the way, the truck driver was more radical than all of these guys in that village. He was literally a terrorist supporter. Like the way that he was talking to me, he started asking me all kind of questions and interrogating me and again asking me. It was very shady. Now, one trick that I can teach that can be very, very helpful for all of you here, especially for girls, I will say, it's a trick from the world of negotiation and in general. Whenever you are encountered, you're in an elevator or you are, in an office with someone that is asking too many questions, you don't feel comfortable. Ask him, Nolatta be'elat? Hey, me too. Respect, shalom, elatim kavod. Ask him a question that he should answer, because when he is talking, he have less time to think about what you're saying. When you're talking, you have more chance to say something wrong or something stupid that will reveal your identity or will screw you. You will reveal your cards. So when you manage to move the talking stick, the talking magic stick to the other person, now he is talking, you have more time to think. You have more time to calibrate what do you want to say, what do you want to say, and he have less time to think about you. A good trick when you are stuck in an elevator, for girls, and you're stuck right now in an elevator with a guy that is asking you weird questions. Tell him you have something in his teeth. Tell him you have something in your teeth or something in your nose. What's going to happen now for the next 4, 5, 6 floors that the elevator is going ding, ding, ding? He's going to be like in the mirror, trying, or even on the side, kind of doing like this. You got him off your shoulders. He's not bothering you anymore. And then the elevator opens and you go out. Why am I saying for girls? Because usually we have dudes harassing girls in elevators and not the other way around. Right? The girls here, do you like that tip? If you do, show a heart or a flag of your country or something. Traveling clat! Look at that, guys. I have to stop the story right now and give my respect to the tribe elder here, the traveling clat, our skateboard champion of 4th of July, Tal from Israel. The kind of guy that every time that he makes a content just makes a smile on my face. Traveling Clat, you just joined in a very good time, in a very good story. We're talking about a trip where I almost got kidnapped and end up rescuing a girl in Jordan and surviving the desert with her. And I gave the lady here, which they agree with me, a good tip that might work for you as well. Whenever you're stuck with in the elevator with someone who is extremely annoying and asking you a lot of questions, and you want to avoid these questions, just tell him that he has something in his teeth or something in his nose. What happened? He's going to be busy right now going around looking like this in the mirror, fixing it. And that will give you the time to rethink about what you want to say, what you don't want to say. And when the elevator opens, you get out immediately. Saved yourself the hassle and the embarrassment and the annoyment and the harassment. I did that trick with that radical Muslim that was with me in the truck. Because I saw how radical and he was talking all kind of crazy stuff. And I can smell these things because I grew up in that environment and I know the Middle East. And then I came and I told him, you know what? My grandmother is Muslim. My grandfather is Muslim. My grandmother is Christian, Arab Christian. And I always wanted to connect to my roots. That's why I came to the Middle East. So I want to know about Islam. Do you mind telling me more about your religion? And he gloomed with joy. And the entire travel, entire drive in the desert, he was just telling me how you should join Islam, because once you join Islam, the faith and Muhammad and the Prophet comes in your heart and you become so happy that you want to go and kill yourself for Allah. You would go and blah. And I was like, whoa, 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 let's calm down with you will become a shaheed, you will be happy to die for the name of God. And he was going that radical. And even he told me, listen, there's a mosque here. We can stop in the mosque right now and we can go and pray and you go on the sajjad and I'll make you a Muslim. And I said, okay, let's wait with that. The girl here, she needs to rest, she's tired. But just so you realize, that's the kind of guy. And he was telling me how he hates Israel and etc. And he supports Hamas and the Palestinians and hope that they will annihilate the Jews and that the Jews curse the Jews and etc. So he was revealing to me all of his identity right now, all of his motives, while I was able to stay quiet, focus. Again, I am 4 days now surviving in the desert, carrying that girl on my shoulder. Intense adrenaline rushing out from these guys, these gangs with guns, and a guy with one hand and a machete that came at us, all the way to these Palestinian kids and adults and shababs that want to lynch us, these police officers interrogating us. Haven't slept almost for 4 days, and now in the truck, I'm hoping to sleep, but I can't because this guy's lunatic, but at least he is talking. We managed to get all the way to Aqaba. We said goodbye to him. I said thank you. I gave him a little bit of money for the trouble. And did I just become a terrorist supporter? No, probably not. I just paid him for the fuel. I think that was fair. You know, you're not a terrorist just for having radical views. Anyway, let's get back to business right now. I ended up going to the border with that lady. We crossed into Israel and I brought her to a hospital in Eilat. Yosef Tal, whoever is here from Eilat. And what they did in the hospital, they gave her the right antibiotics. They gave her the infusia to give her the liquids. And she rested for 3-4 days and she was fine. No one had to take her appendicitis, no one had to take her kidney, and no one had to kidnap or lynch anyone. So this is the story that I wanted to give today in the live stream. Craig! Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Craig is another great friend of mine. Actually, Craig is the best storyteller in this room right now. He's just being humble and calling me. The guy can sell an ice to an Eskimo. So anyway, back... I told you there was a fire in Eilat. Was the fire related to any terrorist attack or any rocket? Can you share with us, Omer? Omer just said right now that there was a fire in Eilat. Nah, Mansour not number one. Craig number one. Yes. Okay, it's not about terrorism. Good. So yeah, that was a crazy story. And the lesson learned that I took from that story is it's always good to have general self-awareness where you're going. You need to be able to be capable anywhere you go. That's why it's important to encourage ourselves to become capable people, to defend ourselves, to navigate, to basically not depend on others to save us. That girl, if she didn't have me, she would have been probably dead or even worse, raped and then dead. These bandits in the desert were clearly up to no good. And that hospital there just kind of showed us, to those of you who are asking, what is the problem in the Middle East? The problem in the Middle East is these children that were running to us. And why am I saying I'm not blaming the children, but they are the symptom of the problem. These children that were running to us from that village and came and told me the first thing they saw me when I asked them, what's that over there? Because I wanted to know what they think about Israel, is how their dream is to kill the Jews and kill Israel, and Israel should be destroyed and curse upon the Jews. When you teach children from a young age that they need to curse the Jews, that they need to kill the Jews, you're not going to have peace with these people. When you radicalize people from a young age, you're dooming yourself for a future, for a very dark future. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, something that's happening in Muslim countries. And the West is just not talking about it enough because they want to be politically correct. They want to be friendly and nice. You cannot fix a problem without addressing it. And the problem needs to be addressed from inside of Islam. They need to start teaching their children to love life and not love death, to love education and not love radical religion. There's no problem being religious, but education should not go against religion. But yeah, anyway, we talked about that many times. Everyone here understands Hebrew? No, I don't think so, Omer. Maybe we should start a Hebrew lesson class every day, teach them something. Yeah, it should be illegal to teach that kind of thing, definitely. Mansour rocks. Where are you from? Blue Slim 12. I am from Israel. Born and raised in Israel. My family came from Syria and Lebanon, one side, and the other side lived in Israel for the last 1,000 years. So I am very much from Israel and the Middle East. It's nothing short of child abuse. Absolutely. Things that me and you will be arrested in Western countries for way less. Here in Germany, they call the police. Any German here can tell you, if you don't take your kid to school, or if you're late to school with your kid in Germany, they're probably going to call the police on you. They're going to call social workers immediately, and they're going to call the police, and the police is going to come. And when you get to the school, you might end up meeting with a police officer and a social worker, and you just came half an hour late to school, and they're like, what's happening? Where were you? They start talking to you. And they will even say, if that happened a few times, they'll start suspecting, oh, maybe this guy is abusing his children, not giving them education. That's how our standard in the West, in some countries, for child abuse or children protection, which is good. And then comes that kind of world that they are so low and we're not calling it out. It should be illegal, 100%. Every Israeli have that moment that you see someone shady and then can note across a necklace and you can feel relaxed. You see, maybe you mean the Chai or the Hebrew. Toda Rabba Ainora, definitely. My parents were Israelis, but they didn't talk to us in Hebrew. That's a shame. That's a shame, YB. That's because of their schools and imams. 100% Sheena. These schools and imams. You know what they did in Germany? Interesting about schools and imams. The schools and imams in Germany were run by Turkey. And the education of the imams was by Turkey, and they were reporting to Turkey. And Germany just started a move now that they're taking all the imams' control out of Turkey and put it in the hand of Germany. Look how smart the Germans are compared to the Brits and others. They realized that these imams became the #1 center for propaganda, for incitement for violence, terrorism, and hatred. It's sad to say, right? Don't you think that, religious centers, when you think about the synagogue, the church, and yeah, they have their dark days, the church especially, but still, when you think today about a church, you think that this is a place where you come to learn about love, forgiveness, God, acceptance. When you think about mosques today, the image that they started receiving is that they're the place that teach the most hatred and decisiveness. And that is a problem. So Germany came and said, we're taking control. We are going to teach the imams so we can make sure that they're not teaching crazy radical stuff that don't go hand in eye in eye with what we have here. Thanks for open comments. God bless. Of course, I love these comments. When people think they can wipe the Jewish people from the face, Daniela is saying, of the earth, then they try from the word of God. I do not like replacement theology, let alone anti-Semitism, which is actually anarchist. Replacement theology. Interesting that you mentioned that. I studied religion, Judaism, history, and Christianity. Some people might not know what's replacement theology. So I'll explain, and feel free, Daniela, to correct me if I get something wrong here. But to the viewers that are reading right now, I need a massage. So what happened is, in the Bible, obviously it talks about the Jews, the people of Israel, the Israelites, the people of God. The New Testament, Jesus was a Jew. His disciples were most of them Jews. And they spread the gospel in Israel to the Jews first, and then it got spread to the rest of the world. But their gospel was very much related and connected and rooted with the Old Testament. And all the prophecies that came all spoke about that one of the signs for the return of Christ, for the end of days even, was the returning of the Jews to Israel. Because in all the prophecies it says that the Jews will be back in Israel. And the Jews were right now 2,000 years outside of Israel. Now what happened is, when the Jews came back to Israel, now, in our lifetime, people were hyped in the Christian world. So this is the beginning of the fulfillment of that prophecy. It's happening, you know. No one believes it's going to happen, and it happened. No one believed anyone's going to be speaking Hebrew, and now you have a whole nation that is speaking an ancient language that disappeared. And yeah, Turkey is a very problematic country. We'll talk about that. So what happened is some Christians who didn't like the Jews, that held still, you know, anti-Semitic or maybe Nazi kind of ideology, belief from behind, or just, you know, kind of weird theology, came and said that God have replaced the Israelis with the church. So anytime that is talking about Israel, is actually mean the church of God. And the Jews are out of the picture anymore. And that's how they're trying to take them. So that's replacement theology. Very dangerous theology. Very wrong theology that is a little bit common, I would say, in some Christian factions and places around the world, including in America and in Europe. People believe that replacement theology, because it makes it easier for them to justify their hate to the Jews, rather than come and say, okay, you know, the whole Bible keeps talking all the time, bless Israel, pray for Israel, we need to pray for the Jews. We don't like them. How can we do that? So replacement theology came and helped them do that mental backflips in their head so they can agree with that. Was I right about replacement theology? Giving a little bit explanation about that for Daniela. Shayna said something, Turkey is not a good country to follow. Absolutely not. Turkey, Israel have let a statement out. I have good Turkish friends. And I say it that way, that don't hate Israelis, don't hate the Jews, and are not against peace. I have individual friends in Turkey that I know. But Turkey as a country, as an official government, and, you know, a lot of the people there are showing extreme support to Hamas, are showing extreme support justification to October 7. They've made a serious warning for Israelis not to go to Turkey. Israel last year helped Turkey with the earthquake by saving people's life in Turkey. Israel airplane now had an emergency, a medical emergency, landed in Turkey, and they refused to fuel the airplane. That shows you the difference in the basic humanitarian moral values that you have between these countries. There's a saying in Hebrew, Benfol oivecha al tismach, or al ta'alos benfol oivecha, which means do not rejoice in the fall of your enemy. So when a catastrophe happened to your enemy, do not rejoice. Don't say happy, yeah, there was an earthquake there and everybody's dead and people are just killed on the street and children are starving. Don't be happy. And that's, I think, is a beautiful thing about Judaism and Christianity, that they're not trying to hate their enemies. They just want to be left alone and live and make sure that that enemy doesn't kill them. But there's a difference between love your enemy and to approve of the actions. So when you don't need to hate your enemy, but you don't need to approve his actions. And you should definitely hate his actions if his actions are really bad. If his actions are killing, raping, murdering, racism, you should hate that. That's my 5 shekel about that. There is so much indeed what you have spoken, Mr. Ashkar, and changing his feast and appointed times, changing God instructions. Thanks for speaking about it. Yeah, you're right, Daniela. I didn't want to open, a whole Bible theology about it, but just kind of to give them a little bit touch about what does that mean. Spent a lot of time in Turkey years ago. Way too much darkness there. Yeah. Crazy story about Turkey. Want to hear? Last crazy story, guys. I kid you not. I was in Turkey, connection flight into Israel. Came from Miami, landed in Turkey, connection flight into Israel. As I was in the airport, I sent my friend, and I still had that SMS message. He asked me, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? Etc., etc. He was an Apache pilot in the US Army, and we were colleagues and friends from childhood. And I told him, listen, man, I am pissed. And he said, why? He says, I don't feel safe here. And I don't like leaving the security for my life in the hands of others that I don't trust. If I'm home, I know I can protect myself and my family. If I'm in the desert, I know I can survive. Here, they don't allow me to bring a weapon with me. They don't allow me to bring anything to protect myself. They take everything from me. They tell me, enter the airport, go on the airplane. But I saw the security level in the airport in Turkey, in Istanbul. And I was shocked about how bad it was. And also the people in that security, I said, I don't know if they're not even supporting terrorism, some of these guys. So I felt really uncomfortable and I got pissed that my connection was there and I wanted to, like, I gave shit to my company after and I told them never again fly me through Turkey. I don't want to go there. So anyway, I'm in that airport and I'm talking to my friend. He's telling me, calm down. It's always said, no, man, I'm feeling something is wrong. Something is like my spider instinct was tingling. And I said, I'm getting away from crowded areas. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like something is just wrong in the air here. Then my airplane came. I went on the airplane. 15 minutes after I was in the air, there was a terrorist attack in that airport. That was the shooting and the explosion and the bombing that happened in the airport. It was exactly in that airport where I was in that particular day. And I have the SMS. Now, my friend, who now hears it in the news, and he was talking to me right now, panics. He calls me, he calls my family. Everybody is panicking right now in Israel because I'm not answering. I just sent a message, my last message, I don't feel safe here. This was the last message on the WhatsApp to my friend. Everybody right now is panicking. I land in Israel, I see all the messages, 100 phone calls from my mom. I calmed everybody down, and I didn't even know. And then they told me what happened. And I told my friend, I knew it. I just felt it. I don't know how, did I manage to guess it? I don't really have superpowers or tingling Spider-Man instinct, but I think just my general security awareness was just telling me that something is just extremely wrong here, and I was really upset that I am in a place that can get me killed because they don't take security seriously. So that was about that. Sheena said, many Israelis used to go to Turkey on vacation, not so much at all. I think they lost so many customers. Most of Israel used to go there to do their hair and all kind of stuff, and completely. All right, I think I'm gonna, we've been talking for 71 minutes. I'm gonna try to look at some message. Oh, I got something, I got some great news, guys, for everyone who stayed until the end. I am starting my Patreon because I wanna keep doing these videos. I just got my YouTube monetized, but I still haven't figured out how to do the banking, routing here in Germany, etc. So I still can't get, super likes here and support me, but if people want to support and want to help me keep doing what I'm doing, keep making these videos, because I'm doing this out of my own free time, my own free money, my own pocket, and I'm going to keep doing that because I believe in what I'm doing, believe in my country, and I'm going to keep standing as an Arab-Israeli voice for peace, for coexistence, for my family as well, and for my friends, for my Jewish brothers and sisters, or anyone in Israel that wants peace. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, or Jew. So I got my YouTube monetized, but I still can't get, these likes, these super chats or whatever, but I'm gonna fix that soon. But also I open a Patreon, and if anyone wants to join in my Patreon, you can become a falafel lord, you become a shawarma king, or a mom grape leaves sponsor, or different categories there. Anyone who's really want to try to support and help me keep doing these videos, I would highly appreciate that support. You can go to my Patreon. You have the link in my YouTube, I think. Maybe someone can put the link here even. Interesting. But anyway, you can find the link or on my Instagram, and I will highly help me continue doing what I'm doing. I've been doing that for the last 8-9 months. Took a break from my work and kept doing that on my own savings, my own expense, my own time, in my free time, from being with my kid or doing all kind of side jobs so I can support and keep doing what I'm doing right now. I have a great job that I can go to, but I choose to keep doing this because I find this more important right now. So if anyone chooses to help and want to help, I believe in the power of many, and just a small contribution there can really help. Blue his Druze. There is no link. Let me see if I can find the link here. On my Instagram, there is a link. Maybe I can share the link here. I'm still new to these stuff, so. Excellent. Is it really mine? Yeah, that's mine. Let's see. Yeah, that's mine. Right, let me share the link here. Paste. There you go. So if anyone wants, more than welcome. I'll highly appreciate that. And let's leave a place for questions. If anyone have a question, a few questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. I'm getting better and better. And I want to even say special thanks to Inora and Shaina for always being there for us. You're helping, I know, a lot of Israeli content creators. And I cannot say enough how thankful I am for the help and for Inora here taking the time to moderate and doing such a good job. These girls are doing that out of their free time and out of the kindness of their heart. And it just humbles me to know that there is people like that that are willing to help, because we would not be able to do that without them or any of you guys that are here, and I really mean that. I'm a Druze Israeli, yes. Someone is asking, wow, Turkey would be part of the Ezekiel war, the peace are coming together. Interesting. I heard some of these prophecies before, I read about them. What is your opinion on the West Bank, Judah, and Samaria? That's a very big question. Can you narrow it down a little bit, Blue Slim or Slime? What is my opinion about the West Bank? And that's a very big question, if you can narrow it down, because I have a lot of opinions about it. And someone is asking about the Jews are an integral part of the state of Israel from the day it was founded. We will never give them up. Yeah, we're together in this. We're in this for good or for bad. So, what do you think should happen to the West Bank? Yes, I am currently in Germany. What I think should happen to the West Bank? I think the West Bank, let's start from this. I think the West Bank is not much better than Gaza in terms of the radical ideology that they have there. They hang gay people, they kill anyone that they like to blame him as a mashtab, as a spy for Israel. They have no real law system that works. They don't have a democracy there. And it's just mayhem there. It's not a safe place. And sad to say, it's not a good place. If you would give right now the West Bank and give them keys for Israel, they will destroy Israel. Israel will become another failing Muslim country. So, what do I think about the West Bank? I think they should need to fix their shit by themselves, first of all. And I think, if you ask me, Israel need to detach. Israel need to say, sorry guys, you stay there, we stay here, we don't mingle. That's what I think, and the reason I'm saying that, and I dream and I pray for peace. And I have friends from the West Bank, and I personally know people and I've been there. Is that you cannot have peace with people who want to kill and destroy you, who teach their children to kill and destroy you. And that is the West Bank right now. So fool yourself as much as you want, whoever wants to fool himself around. But as long as they don't solve their problem, I think not only Israel, the whole West should wake up and realize there's a problem in the Muslim world. It's a serious problem. They want to take over the West and they're going to bring it to a dark age. And we cannot allow that. So they need to separate. They need to tell them, guys, get your shit together, go deal with your stuff, get your own renaissance, move out of this ancient, barbaric mentality, come back, join our values, and then you can come and join and be a partner with us in the West. And if the West doesn't do that, two outcomes. Mark my word now and watch it years to come from now. Either Islam is going to take over the West, or the West is going to end up going to a bloody, terrible war with Islam. And when you try to avoid war, when war is inevitable and it's on your doorstep and someone want to destroy you and you try to avoid it, you just postpone it and you just make it worse. That's what happened with Hamas. That's what happened with Hezbollah now. And that's what's happening between the West and the Muslim world. And there is Muslim countries that are trying to wake up, like Saudi Arabia, like Jordan and others, who are saying, okay, we need to actually start moving a little bit towards the future. And they're changing rules and they're changing ideology, philosophies, and they're moderating radical religious rules. And all of them need to do that. They need to go through that renaissance to come to a place that they are qualified and fit to go shoulder by shoulder with the West. So Israel is no difference. The West Bank and Israel cannot coexist right now. Two different forces. One believes in love and peace. One believes in death and religious domination. That was my 5 shekel about that. Any more questions? Let's see. Druze colors. Yes, the Druze colors. Anyone knows why the Druze have these colors? Let's see. It's a quiz. Why are you living in Germany? The reason I'm living in Germany, Shimrik Kevcher Corner, is because my son is here. And his mother is German, and they chose to want to live here. And I chose that I'm not going to let my son grow up without a father. And every kid needs his father around him. And a kid did not choose to be born to this world. A father and a mother brought him together, and they have the full responsibility over him. And I take that responsibility very seriously. And even though I love Israel, and I miss Israel every day, I know that my place right now is to be with my kid and be the father that he needs in his life, be the role model that he needs, be the one that will teach him how to be a man, how to be a kind person, a brave person, a strong person. So that's where I am, in Germany. And I love it. Germany is a great place. Very great place. Follow the Instagram, Amazing Dad. Yeah, you'll get a lot of dad content on my Instagram. Also on YouTube, I'm going to start making. Freeman asked something, am I right, Mansour? אדום מסמל את הגבורה, האומץ, צהוב, את הידע, הרע והירוק, אדמה, והטבע כחול, סבלנות, סחרנות, אחווה, שמיים. So Freeman said about all the colors, how they represent different symbols like love and passion and this and this. You're right about that, but that's not the reason. The colors actually represent prophets. Each color represents a different prophet that the Jews believe in. And some of these prophets are actually biblical prophets. Sidon Mesheb, Jethro, King Solomon is considered there as well. So that's the symbols are actually the prophets. Any more questions that I missed? Raphael is the cutest. I miss him so much. I've been staying in my studio now for 2 days because I'm working on boosting my YouTube channel and making good content video. And like I said, I want to start making a decent living out of it. Decent, I'm talking I want to start to be able to break even so I can cover my expenses, so I can still be responsible to my family while I'm doing these videos for my country. And people say that the Mossad is paying us. You can ask Tal. He's the only one being paid by the Mossad right now. Tal and other Barak haven't paid me yet. No, I'm kidding. No one is paying us. We're doing this out of our own time, and that's why I'm here in the studio, by the way. Quality stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Schmierchik. 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 Thank you, Schmierchik. Any more questions that I missed? Good, I said the name right. Who owns the West Bank, Judah, and Samaria? Who owns it? Well, currently the Palestinians are living there. They're the ones who own. If you ask me who was there before, then obviously the Jews were there before. But now they're living there, and the Jews are living there, and there's a big conflict. But who owns it? I don't think anyone really owns the key to it right now. It's a piece of land that's known to be part of the Jewish state from before, and now is a piece of land that have Muslims and Jews and Christians living on it and trying to figure out how they want to live their life. Without lies, Islam dies, my opinion. Yeah. Can't argue with that. I don't care if there will be a Palestinian state in the West Bank, but why Jews can't live in Judea and Samaria? They're religious. Yeah, you're right. Alex is very right here. See, this is the biggest example of what is a real apartheid and what is not. The holiest place for the Jews, Jerusalem, the temple, the Wailing Wall. This is the wall outside of the temple. It's not even a temple. You know what's built on top of that temple? Al-Aqsa, a Muslim holy place that Muhammad actually never really was there. He says that, he went on a donkey in his dream and he drove there, and then he would teleport from there to heaven. But aside from a miraculous way of getting there, if you look at it from a scientific way, there's no way that he could have made it, that journey, in time. So someone wrote in a story that he wants that place to be holy for him, to give himself some kind of gushpanka, and they made it the holy place for the Muslims. And now the Muslims are getting legal permit from the Israelis to go and worship there, on top of the holiest place for the Jews. So look how much the Jews are willing to go to respect other religions, giving them their holiest place, preventing from their own people to enter to their holiest place as the Jews, the Temple Mount, and letting Muslims who are seeing themselves as their enemies to go into that mountain and freely worship their God. And that is the Jews for you, and their tolerance towards other religions, not only to the Jews and the Christians, but to the Muslims as well. Now, just like you said, on the West Bank, what will happen if a Jew will try to go and visit a holy site, a holy Jewish site in the West Bank that precedes Islam? He will be lynched, he will be killed by the Muslims. That's their level of religious tolerism compared to the Israeli level of religious tolerance. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, why I always say the best place in the Middle East for an Arab to live in is Israel, is by the Jews. They are the most respectful towards the Arabs, more than the Arabs toward themselves and more than the Arabs toward any other religion. Absolutely, gushpanka, me and my family and my Arab friends can seal that. Yes, there is problems. Yes, there's a lot of things to work on in Israel. Absolutely. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, you need to deal with a lot of justice issues, but that's it. Which country the West Bank and Samaria belongs to? How about you answer that question to us, Blue, and let us know. Daniela, good point. Yeah. Arabs can't even say Palestine with P. Yeah, they decided to steal the wrong identity to assign themselves to it. You know, they said, like, let's see which kind of Middle Eastern identity we're gonna steal to ourselves and build the whole fake kind of narrative around it. Let's say, should we take the Shakshuka land? We can say that. No, let's take something we can't say. Let's take Palestine. Yeah, they took the wrong one. Arabs in general have a hard time saying P. My mom says beta. She doesn't say pita. Am I single? Tough question. I rather not talk too much about these things on social media. My kid will watch one day these videos, and I want to be respectful to him. So anything like that, usually I just avoid answering, if that's okay. Sorry. Jewish people do not disrespect other religions. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Israel owns the West Bank, of course. Israel owns the land of Israel. You know, if that's the question, then yes. Very hard to order mushrooms pizza for Arabs. Yeah. Asking for a friend. No, it's a good question. I'm not against it. I'm not opposing that question. I just said, these things go live and eternal. So I usually avoid. But follow me on Instagram and you'll learn more about my day-by-day life. Let's see. Palestine is even not mentioned in the Quran. Yeah, it's not mentioned. It was made up later on, guys. It's a made-up thing. Freddie Malouf. Yeah, man. Fatherhood is the greatest thing that can happen to a man. Greatest thing. It teaches you how to become a man. It teaches you how to love someone more than you love yourself. And it comes natural for women when they give birth. But it doesn't come natural for a father until he spends time with his child. And then he connects to him. So I highly recommend. Freddie, want to give us an opinion? What do you think that Israel should do to have less headache? Go ahead, Freddie, shoot. Let's see. It's tactus, you not be selfish. I didn't understand that completely. And Mansour, are you believing in a greater Israel, land-wise? Greater Israel, you mean that Israel should expand to Jordan and take back all the Abrahamic and go all the way to Saudi Arabia and stuff like that? I honestly don't think that this is some irrelevant even discussion to discuss. I think Israel should focus on Israel right now and should be happy in Israel, and anyone that is talking about these things is just causing more problems in the eyes of the anti-Semites who actually think that Israel is trying to go and conquer the rest of the West Bank and make it Jewish. I think that this is a very unwise path to go. It teaches a man not to be selfish. Yes. Yeah, that's true. A man's nature is, by nature, by default, more selfish, more caring for himself. And there is a few things in life that teaches you to overcome and become a better man, and that is children is definitely one of them. Marriage, a proper marriage and love to a woman can teach a man to actually love that person enough that he want to give his life for and makes him a better man, and a child just by default boosts that. So I think every man should aspire to build a family and have a child. 100%. The best achievement you can do in your life. So Freddie is saying, remove citizenship in case of terror activities such as the mall recently in state capital punishment. I agree about the remove citizenship, 100%. Capital punishment, is that the punishment of death we're talking about? I don't have too much knowledge. I just know a little bit from the statistics in the US that states that do have the punishment of death end up having less violent crimes because people are afraid of that. So I'm not coming and saying it's something that is completely bad. I don't know if Israel is willing or capable of doing that, but absolutely yes, I agree about anyone who is against the state of Israel and want the state of Israel destroyed and support or act of terrorism should not be in Israel. That's it, simple as that. Go live somewhere else. Dum dum dum. Larry is saying something, but I don't know who he's referring to. Feel free to give us a little bit more background, Larry, about this. Hey, my kid came in the world the day I became an actual man, 20 years old, and I looked in his eyes and the games were over. So revoking the citizenship against the entire family as a deterrence. From effective point of view, perspective, it's a very effective way. Absolutely. From a humanitarian point of view, imagine now your family and you have your daughter Munira and Samira, and they don't believe in terrorism. They actually want to break free from this circle. They're being oppressed by their radical Muslim religion, and they're so thankful that they're living in Israel. And then their stupid brother, Masoud, goes and gets radicalized in the local mosque and does a stupid terrorist attack. And now you revoke all of them. I think that's not going to be fair for Samira and Munira, who might have been peace-loving, and supporting the country that they're living in. So I think that kind of rule, if you ask me, I don't like these collective punishments. They are very effective to battle, terrorism and other radical behaviors, but they also, I feel like, some of the beauties about Israel is that Israel does not behave like its enemies, like its nearby countries, and we still try to cherish the highest standard of humanity, and we pay a heavy price often, but that's what I think about collective punishment. I would not support. I think that's not going to be something that I would be happy to have in Israel. Love is nice to hear these days. Someone's in love with who? Look into my eyes, Mansoor. Here we are. You felt that? Me too. Me too. Felt that. Love is in the air. Everywhere you look around. Ooh, ooh. It's not connected. I'm speaking from my phone. How is the weather in Germany? The weather is great in Germany. It's actually the best time of the year to be in Germany right now. It's just good enough to be with a jacket or to take the jacket off and just enjoy, kind of dress in any fashion that you want and go swimming, go running. So Germany is beautiful. Isa, anyone who's looking for someone to fall in love with, Isa is single, I think. Super cool dude. He's a catch. He's a catch. Go check him out and harass him on Instagram. I'm telling you guys, he is a catch. Not too bad and not too cold. Guido, yep. Actually, now in a few days, it's been a little bit kind of cloudy, but in general, the weather here, I love it. In Israel, it's not possible. All right, guys, I think we spent enough time. It was a great talk. I thanks everybody. I'm like a kid in love. I thank everybody who came here. All the people that brought love with them, that brought their crush with them, and anyone that asked the question that they asked. It was a great session. I enjoyed it. I want to thank again Ainora and Shaina and all the rest. Titan, thank you. Blue Smile. Here, let me give you a full answer. Give us a full answer, Blue Smile, and with that maybe we can finish. But until then, guys, anyone here that came, thank you. Let's see. According to the international law, the West Bank belongs to Israel since the law is according to the mandate system and the language. But now Jordan does not want the West Bank. By the way, the partition plan of 47 is not relevant since both sides did not agree and it was only proposed to both sides. Good. I don't oppose that. I was kind of more talking about now the situation with the people living in there. I 100% think that all the Jews should have free access to the West Bank. And the fact that you have a place in your country they don't have access to it because others want to kill the Jews in that place, that is a very big problem and they should sort their shit together. Craig is asking when is the next live. I'm gonna do a next live. I will try to do it maybe in the same day next week. I think I'm gonna try to do once a week live, and hopefully by then I'll be sorted out my monetization on YouTube. Like I said, we broke that, so that's great news. And again, guys, thank you so much. I will be posting more videos on YouTube. My next video is gonna be answering the question, is the Delta Force capable of surviving in Gaza? And were they in Gaza? Would the Delta Force survive a day in Gaza? And were they in Gaza? Because America have a responsibility to rescue its hostages. And right now there is American hostages being held in Gaza. So I made a video about that and I'm gonna post it hopefully tomorrow. And I'm gonna be trying to make more videos about politics, about life, about religion, about fatherhood. I want to try to give some of the tips from the things that I've learned from becoming a father and try to give others, and I'm happy to hear from others. So stay tuned, guys, and thank you so much. Thank you, Shmirchik Corner. I enjoy that as well. And it doesn't matter, Jordan settled them there illegally. What would you see as a solution, my friend Blue Slime, for the West Bank situation? What solution would you offer to the table, if you don't mind sharing with us? Yeah, we have the Euro. We have the Euro also in my city, actually, some of the games. Cool. Put them in the Congo. Germany is playing Spain. Really? What the heck am I doing here doing a live with you guys? Germany is playing Spain? My God. All right, let's finish this call quickly. Is he gonna answer? Hey, what's the score? All right, guys, thank you so much. I gotta run, gotta watch this game. I can't believe I'm so happy we did this call, but just the timing that I did, I just completely lost track of time. Germany is losing? No, that's not good. Please add my Instagram link on my YouTube. You're right, if I haven't done that, I'll do that. And guys, see you next time. Thank you so much again. It was a pleasure to offer citizenship to those who convert, if they convert, and others to move to Jordan. So you want to offer citizenship to anyone who convert to Judaism? 1-0 for Spain. That is terrible. Terrible. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. And I'm so glad that you came here. And again, thank you for everybody. How do I stop this? Hearts. Yes, hearts to all of you.